blacks for Trump. They feel that Trump is better for the black community. Can you explain Donald Trump's history with blacks?
Donald Trump, what do you define as a black job? Because let me tell you what I define as a black job. Vice President of the United States. So part of what we have to help people understand is don't think you're in Donald Trump's club. You're not.
Right.
He's not going to be thinking about you. You think he's having you over for dinner?
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com, get you one of these 47 shirts. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait until we spank them like a hard-headed kid on Election Day. And I'm not trying to be, arrogant or nothing because I do think we're going to win by a lot. But we need to run it up. We need to win the popular vote. We need to win every state that we can possibly win. And there's some that's on the fence that we can even win those. But you got to show up and vote. Get you some merch today. TatumStore.com. Link is in the description section. Discount code will pop up somewhere over here. Let's get into this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Shay. Shannon Sharpe, I messaged him. Now, look, he probably didn't see the message. But I wrote a comment. I messaged him because when he had a bunch of Trump-hating idiots on there, like John Legend and them, I said, man, bring Trump on there. Think about this. Anything that Trump has gone on, other people have offered, but she rejected it. Anything that she goes on, they don't even offer Trump an opportunity to go on. I think Donald Trump should sit down on Shay because God is my witness. When they hear her and they see Trump, they're going to realize who the real one. Now, is this consequential? No, black people's votes are not as consequential as others. So the few black people that are watching this that ain't going to vote anyway, this is not going to sway the election by them coming on Shannon Sharpe show. What sways the election is somebody going on Joe Rogan. I don't know where that number is now, Nick. It's probably 50 million views right now. And I know YouTube is suppressing it, but if it gets the views and the traction that it should get, it'll be 100, 200 million views, which would be probably the biggest view count of any political channel. I mean, any political conversation. It's at 38 million now. It should probably be way more than that. We'll see how well it does on X. It's on 10 million already on X. So we'll see how well it does on X because even Joe Rogan said it was getting suppressed on YouTube, so he put it on X. But let's get to the interview at hand because this woman out here just saying whatever she gonna say and Shannon Sharpe just buying into it. Probably because she paid him to do this. Roll the clip.
When we have guests come on, Madam VP, we like to toast. And what I read on this card, you don't deserve this, you earned this. Being the first in so many areas. And you make us proud. I just want you to know you make us proud for what you've been able to accomplish. And we're 12 days away, and we hope you have an even greater accomplishment. So here's to continued success in everything you've done and everything that you will do.
Oh, bless you, and thank you. And to you, Shannon, to you for all the success and the voice you give to so many issues. Thank you for that.
Did y'all seeing what I'm saying? They just toast with no liquor in it. That's not a toast. Toast etiquette, you never toast liquor and non-liquor. You toast liquor. I mean, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, but that's just, to me, that speaks to it. If she took a shot of some whiskey or something, I think people would be like, oh, yeah, she relatable. Now, because she's not averse to drinking alcohol because she didn't mind having a beer the other day on whoever podcast, or she was on that show having a beer. So don't say you're averse to alcohol. Roll the clip.
Thank you very
and
much.
cheers to you.
Cheers.
And I'm not going to actually drink this because I might fall asleep, and I need to do this
I don't want you to fall
Barack
asleep.
Obama this afternoon.
We don't want you to fall asleep.
So here we are. Cheers to everybody.
I'm not going to drink it. I'm not going to drink it because I'm going to fall asleep. Ma'am. So you can't sip a little bit of whiskey because you're going to fall asleep.
Been able to do. You've had so many firsts. The first woman attorney general, African American, Asian American descent. You was the DA of San Francisco. You were the first Indian American U.S. senator.
And second black woman ever in the history of the United States Senate elected.
Shay, Shannon. Did you just say she was the first Indian? Black people, when we start letting people be all kind of ethnicities and black at the same time, name another person that can be the first other ethnicity and then also the first black. Name another person. That's like saying Barack Obama was the first white man to win the Electoral College the way he did. He's the first white Democrat. You would never accept that, because if you're white, you can't be black in the world of stupidity that we live in. Well, who else have done this? There's a lot of mixed people out there. Name somebody that's been the first of both races. And black people are the only people silly enough to let a person say, I'm the first Indian. Ma'am, you black. How you the first Indian if you black? She ain't black, but roll it.
Second in the history of the United States Senate.
Have you had an opportunity to sit back and reflect and it's like, wow. But the inflation, gas prices are extremely high. Groceries are extremely high. This rent, I mean, it used to be when I was renting, they moved the rent up $40 a year. Now they're moving it up $400.
So let's talk about that. I'm glad you raised that. So for example, groceries, yes, the prices are still too high. You know it, I know it.
Yeah.
Part of my plan is to deal with price gouging. I did it when I was Attorney General. I'm going to do it as president, which is these companies that will jack up the prices of groceries to take advantage of people in need, and in particular.
Shannon said rent. Shannon said rent. How you going to address them hiking rent prices? You jump to groceries and rent. You're going to do price gouging for rent? So you're going to do a nationwide rent control? She got to be insane.
During a crisis, like what you see around the pandemic or Hurricane Helene.
Yes. Milton.
Right?
Yes.
Milton, right? So there's that. In terms of housing, first of all, we know that black families are 40% less likely to own their home.
Blacks for Trump. They feel that Trump is better for the black community. Can you explain Donald Trump's history with blacks? Where did this come that all of a sudden, I mean, it's been like this because a lot of people used to say, I'm Donald Trump of the ghetto, because he was, I mean, for a lot of blacks, not all, but for some blacks, he was, Madam VP, whether we want to admit it or not, he's revered by some blacks.
But here's the thing. The question for everybody, should he be president of the United States?
Okay.
Right? That's the question. Should he have the ability to sit behind the seal of the President of the United States when he says he wants to terminate the Constitution of the United States? You know what that would mean? In the Constitution of the United States is your Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable search and seizure, your Fifth Amendment right, your Sixth Amendment right to an attorney.
Well, a lot of rights going to be gone. The First Amendment.
But the First Amendment, the Second Amendment.
Yes.
Look, I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I don't believe we should be taking anybody's guns away.
Flashback.
What would you do about the millions of, specifically, assault weapons that are already in circulation? What do you do about those?
Well, there are approximately 5 million, to your point, Craig. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
So a buyback program is a good idea. If Congress fails to act, I'll give them 100 days to put a bill on my desk for signature. And if they do not do it, I will put in place by executive action a comprehensive background check requirement and a ban on the assault weapons and importation.
Did we just get what she just said? She just said Trump is going to suspend the Constitution. But then she turns around and said she's going to give them 100 days or so. And if they don't, she's going to use executive order. That is literally abandoning the Constitution. We have a constitutional right the Constitution gives guidelines. We have a God-given right to keep and bear arms. But the Constitution said it shall not be infringed. And so you're going to take executive power to undermine, circumvent the Constitution. You just said it right here. But Trump is the one. Roll it.
Of assault weapons into our country. I'm done.
And that's why we will work to pass universal background checks, red flag laws, and an assault weapons ban.
In the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
Have you heard?
He has not earned the right to be president of the United States. It's one thing if he has a television show that's very popular. He can put his name on a building, even though we all know he was not a terribly good businessman, which is why he filed for bankruptcy 6 times. But that is one thing. To be...
I was going to let that one go. This tells you this woman don't know nothing about business. Bankruptcy laws, wealthy people leverage these bankruptcy laws. We all know that they do it. You're not unsuccessful because you file for bankruptcy. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. And a lot of people, I don't think it's right to do, but people take advantage of the laws that are on the books and they file for bankruptcies to get out of and get into all kind of other different things. We all know that. Donald Trump clearly is rich as a mother. On one hand, they say he rich and he don't know nothing about the middle class and he don't know he's super wealthy and he give a tax to the wealthy. He the top 1% earner. And then they say he broke. Because he has 6 bankruptcies. He ain't got no money, right? Okay, you got to pick your poison. Roll the clip.
President of the United States means to try and find common ground, to build consensus, to lift up the American people instead of trying to beat people down all the time.
By calling them
It
Nazis?
means solving problems, which means you have to be able to get out of your own head and scan to be concerned about the well-being of other people and then do something about it. Does anyone think Donald Trump thinks that way?
He said immigrants are taking black jobs. I don't know what those black jobs that they're taking. Can you elaborate on that? What the immigrants are taking? What black jobs are they?
It's just another example of him trying to divide and him trying to scare people. It's just another example of him doing that, of him trying to say it's either you or them, right? And the other thing is that it's incredibly demeaning because, and he still has not been forced to define, Donald Trump, what do you define as a black job? Because let me tell you what I define as a black job. Vice President of the United States.
That's a good one.
Right?
It is.
Hold on.
Come on.
Now, black people know what he's talking about. I know what he's talking about because I grew up in a black neighborhood. She didn't. I don't know why Shannon act like he don't know what he's talking about. When I was growing up, we used to have certain jobs that people did. They were all black. Cutting the yard, building houses, all that manual labor stuff, all of that low-skilled worker stuff was all black people. When I was growing up, we had our own mall. We had all this other stuff. Now you see Mexicans doing it. All the stuff that black people used to do, Mexicans are doing it. You used to, if you want your yard cut, a brother would come cut your yard. You have a whole local, family-owned landscaping company will be black folks in the hood or in a black neighborhood. Now it's Mexicans in the black neighborhood, white neighborhood, Asian neighborhood. The Mexicans doing it everywhere. I was in LA, black people sitting on the side of the thing, hungry with their hand out, begging for food. Mexicans building a building right next to them. These are the jobs he's talking about. For low income in low income black neighborhoods, who's working these jobs? They're unemployed because the Mexicans are working all these jobs. I remember my grandma's street on Pate, right in Stop 6 or Eastwood. You go down it used to be all black people up and down that street. Now, the whole side of the street, number of Mexicans. They didn't put fences on their house. They didn't redid their house. They got 6, 7 people living in one house. They taking the whole street over. All of that stuff that black people used to have, they ain't got it no more. Roll the clip.
I don't know about the pay, but it's a good job to have. That'll be.
Well, you know, not everybody is Shannon Sharpe.
No, but
So, part of what we have to help people understand is don't think you're in Donald Trump's club. You're not.
right.
He's not going to be thinking about you. You think he's having you over for dinner?
You ain't either. You ain't either. Now, we can keep going, but y'all can go watch the rest of Shannon Sharpe. You ain't had me over to dinner either. How many black people you got over your dinner house? You ain't even married to a black man. I said this on Tommy Laren's show earlier, and I heard this from somebody else, so I can't take full credit for it. But he said, you want me to be loyal to black folks, so much so that I disregard everything I know to believe is true, all of the things that you've done incorrectly, your failures. I'm supposed to overlook that because you black. Well, you didn't overlook that when you picked your husband. Why did you pick a black man? You picked a white man. All the people you could have picked as vice president, you could have picked a woman. You didn't pick a woman. You didn't pick a black person whatsoever. So you want me to say I'm gonna disregard all the things that I know to pick you because you black and you don't even pick a husband, or your personal or professional life, you don't do it. But you want me to do it for you. Go screw yourself. I'll see you on the next one.